Hi, Gaye DeRusso, the Majestic rider. So today I'm going to talk to you about something a lot of people do not talk about, and that's falling off horses. We all fall off horses. Trainers fall off, people just starting out fall off, and people who have been riding all their lives fall off. Now, it's funny, when we fall off, most of us get embarrassed. We try to get up right away. Some people it's harder to get up because we're older or we have medical problems. But what you want to know about falling is it can happen. We can fall just when we're walking. We can fall when we step up on something. We can fall when we're walking and we trip on the corner of a sidewalk. So falling happens. It happens to all of us, but it can also happen up on the horse. Now, sometimes it's our fault we fall off, like we didn't tighten our girth and the saddle slides, or the horse is a little bit above our level and we don't know how to ride, so instead of making it better, we make it worse, and that causes us to fall off. Or we just do the wrong thing at the wrong time, that causes us to fall off. Or somebody comes up one part of the hill as you're coming up the other part of the hill, and so it spooks your horse, it spins, and we just lose our balance, and all of a sudden we fall off. So the vest that we wear will help us. The helmets that we wear will help us. But practicing falling can also help us. And I can tell you, most people don't know how to fall correctly. If you fall enough, sure, you probably learn. But a lot of people don't know how to fall. So with some of the sports that people do, you are taught how to fall. And so some of that is with vaulting with horses. And Copper's coming over here, so I don't know if he's going to mess with my camera. But it would be a good thing to practice falling, just so you're not scared about it. Now, of course, if we put our extremities out, here he goes, he's sniffing the camera. You're going to put your head in front of it. Don't knock it over, Copper. So a lot of times we put our arms out or our legs out. That can cause us to get more injured, because as we get older, our bones get weaker. So first, make sure you take calcium and vitamin D. If you're older and you're going to start riding and you don't know if you have osteoporosis, it would be good to go get a bone density scan so you know, and you make sure you wear enough protection. There are equipment, you might feel funny wearing it, but it'll give you more protection, like what they wear for the motocross. You can always wear their outfits and it'll give you a little bit more protection. But the vest they make now, that Tippery eventing vest, help a fair amount, and the blow-up vest make a huge difference besides the helmet. So, first thing, if you can, again, to know is when you fall, and if you don't practice falling, you will just, react to it, which you'll see I have videos of me falling. Sometimes my arms are just flailing out because it happens so fast that we don't have the moment to think. But if you know you're going to fall off, or you have to get off the horse because it's going nuts, you want to try to protect yourself as much as you can. And so the best thing to do is to start with nothing. Just start with falling on the ground. So when you do that, it's best if you have your arms in, and when you go to roll, you kind of disperse the energy. So the best thing to do is start with you down here. Cross your arms so you don't hurt yourself, and then you're going to fall over. Now, Copper hopefully will not go on top of me, but as you fall, you're going to roll. And then you're going to get back up as fast as you can, because you're trying to stay out of that horse's way. Copper's like, what are you doing? So again, when you do it, choose a soft place to do it, or put a mattress on the ground with a cover. There's gymnastic pads, and just practice rolling, because some of you have never done a somersault, so you don't know how to do any of those things. But you'll see my head didn't hit the ground because I kept my neck bent, and you know that because my hat is still on. So when my hat starts rolling, you'll know my neck is getting closer to the thing. So what you want to do is cross your arms, bend yourself down, and let yourself roll, okay? And then you try to get back up so you don't get stepped on. And I'm going to have dirt all over me at the end of this. So as you're rolling, again, sometimes you're underneath the horse, so you're trying to make yourself a ball if you can. You're trying to make yourself so the horse has areas to step around you, because they usually try not to step on you, okay? Copper, 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 Copper. He's touching the camera. So let's do it again. So practice having one knee up, one down, and then crossing your arms, and then you're going to roll your shoulder and try to tuck your legs in. So try to roll, and then push yourself back up. Now, as we get older, this gets much harder to do, and we're not as fast and we're not as agile. But it's a good thing to do because lots of us trip because we start to get poor balance. So you do want to work on your balance, and I'll make another video with stuff of that nature in there. But in the meantime, you're trying to learn just how to fall first, okay? So once you can do it well from the kneeling, pick a thicker area, and then you're just going to start to fall, okay? So I'm going to cross, put my leg down, and then I'm just going to roll, okay? Now that time I hit my elbow a little bit. That will happen, that we hit different parts. And I want to do it both ways. So I'm going to cross, put my arm down, and roll. Because when you get used to doing this over and over again, then it's not as scary because you're like, oh, I practiced it. And so I know I'm going to be okay. As you get better, then again, you want to do it from a little bit more of a height, but you might need more cushion because you don't want to get hurt doing this. Okay? Here we go again, Copper. So I'm going to go down. Copper, get out of the way. Now see how he was really scared the first time, and now he's getting in the way. Could you get out of the way? He's like, what are you doing? I'm showing them how to fall. Come over here. So I just want him out of the way. Hear what he does. Okay, so let's do it again. Okay, so don't forget, cross your arms. You kind of tuck your head in, so cross your arms. I'm going to put my leg down, and I'm going to go. Now, it's good. He'll get used to this as well, because a lot of times the horses aren't used to us falling off, and that's why when we fall off, they get scared. Or we trip and fall, and they get scared, okay? So then, again, do it the other way. You're walking, kind of roll. Okay. Now, you might get bruises from this. You might get a little sore. But again, the more cushion there is, that's why I'm moving back, the better it is. Okay? So then you want to think from a height. That's why the shorter your horse is, if you're really afraid of falling off, don't get a really tall horse. Get a short one. Get a short, safe, old one. Because then it's going to be higher than this most likely, but it's not going to be that bad. So if you start to fall off, you're starting to go, you try to kick your stirrups out because you don't want to get hung up, and you want to let go of the reins because people hold the reins and they make it worse. So if you start to fall off, kick your feet out, let go of the reins, cross yourself, okay? And then you have two ways to fall. You can either fall backwards or forwards. Most people fall forward, so they fall like this. And roll, okay? Now, it usually happens much faster. So again, you want to practice, so maybe you'll have some muscle memory and you'll kind of save yourself some. So let go of the reins, kick your feet out of the stirrups, tuck. You're going to fall forward. And then roll, because that disperses the energy, versus if I fell and just put my hands out, you can hurt yourself. Now you can go that way, and you can also go back. So you can also go backwards as you do it. Okay? Now I'm older, so I'm not as agile. So again, you can hit your legs. You can do it different ways, but you're trying to practice, okay? So you're going over. Now, sometimes you'll see people land, and they land on their feet, and that's great. If that can happen, you can do the emergency dismount, which I've shown you in another video. So again, if you can do that and land on your feet, that's great. But as we get older, sometimes we can't. So if you try to do the emergency dismount, push yourself up and push yourself away, and then if you fall, roll as much as you can. Okay? The best thing to do, if you can, is to get mats next to you. So you can practice on the mats, and then it makes it much easier and a lot less scary. But the more you practice off falling each direction, the less scary it is. We all fall off. Sometimes we have no control. It just happens. But just know, if you practice it, when it happens, it won't be as scary, and you'll know to kind of pull yourself in and to try to roll. We try to prevent ourselves from falling. We do what we can, try not to give up. If I can push myself back up in the saddle, I do. If I can grab the breastplate, the horn or something, or part of the saddle to get yourself back up, you'll see people shove them back in their saddles. But again, as we get older, it becomes harder. So sometimes if we get launched forward, there's nothing we can do except this. And then slowly get back up. So remember, falling is a part of riding, just like copper cutting in front of the camera as a part of me videotaping. And you just got to know the more you practice, the less scary it will be. And remember, some of it is your mindset. If you're going to ride, the last thing in your mind should be falling. Don't think about falling. If somebody ever asks if you've fallen off before, say, I don't want to talk about it. And you talk to them later when you're not riding, because people put bad juju out there. And I always tell people, don't say anything like that when we're going riding. Don't say anything about the horses, like he's lame. I think that guy's off. Looks like your horse is tying up. Now you can say, hey, I think something's wrong. Maybe we should stop and rest for a while. But don't put those bad words out there, because I am superstitious, and I think some of that stuff then comes around. We had one girl said, any snakes on the trail? I go, we've never seen one. 5 minutes later, one went right past us, rattlesnake. So don't put that bad juju out there. Don't think about falling. Don't talk about falling when you're riding. Sure, you can talk about all that stuff when you're off of the horse, but don't do it before you ride. Do it after you ride, and only keep good thoughts. Be very optimistic. You're going to have a great time. The horse is going to do a good job. And even if your horse has been bad at times, remember, if they've been great 20 times and you have one bad ride, it's just one bad ride. That happens. Don't focus on the bad ride. Focus on all the good rides, all the good things that horse has done to help you. And stop thinking about falling off, but practice it when you're at home. So if it does happen, you're ready. But otherwise, focus on good thoughts and having a great time, and nobody's going to have a problem. And then you're much more likely to have a good ride.